Qapla, everybody, it's Star Trek Saturday. Welcome. It is time for the most underrated Star Trek movie of all time, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. So, let's welcome Thomas Potts, who was first. Hello, Thomas. And Thomas Potts also gave a $1.99 super chat. And says, best Trek movie ever. Indeed, Thomas. Indeed. Cinnabon Bunny says, hello. Welcome, Cinnabon Bunny. 47 Yorktown says, hello, sir. You make me feel old, 47 Yorktown, but hello to you as well. Resolute Germ says, hello. Derek McManus is not first. No, Derek, but you were the first to like a number of my tweets this morning, so thank you. And Derek McManus says, greetings all. John DeMarco says, hello everyone. Cybok Saturday. Yes. Yes. Joseph Petrick says, hi Joe, Mamo Pray Sassy, and the flock. Welcome, Joseph. And Immortal Treknique. Treknique? Yes. Immortal Treknique says, hi guys, and gives the live long and prosper sign. Qapla, Immortal Technique. Welcome to our stream today. So, well, you seem new around here. What I'll do is we'll talk for like maybe 15 minutes or so, and then I will tell everybody to get ready. And if you have your own copy of the movie, I suggest you get it queued up. Right now, I have it paused 22 seconds into this movie, which is an hour, 46 minutes. And 40 seconds, including the ending credits. So 22 seconds in, skip ahead, you should see the Paramount logo on the screen, and in like 10 or 15 minutes, we'll hit play and start watching. Now, if you don't have your own copy of the movie, on the view screen, on screen, you'll get a screenshot of the movie every 5 seconds or so. So you'll be able to follow along. Assuming you've seen the movie before, you'll have some idea what's going on and what I'm talking about. And basically, it'll just be general commentary of the movie. Usually the stuff that's going on the screen could be random stuff. If you want me to read your chat once the movie starts, be sure to use @BertoPray5, so I'll see it, or super chat. And John Araki with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Let me double check. Do I have... Yeah, it should work. We should get a notification on this screen from Streamlabs. It is set up to work. Oh, I turned them off. I am so sorry, John Araki. I had also turned off the chat widget. So, John Araki, I don't know what you might have gotten. My bad. They were turned off. Oh, okay, John. Okay, I really shouldn't do this, but I'll give you a little bit of Dax. I know that's what you want. Let's see if this is gonna work. Let's see if it's going to work. Hold on. I need to get it queued up. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Is it going to work? Yes, it is. So there you go. There it is. There it is. Okay, that's all. That's all I can show. That is all I can show. So there you go, John Araki, for your $1. Now, would you have gotten that anyway? Maybe, but there you did. Don't say I don't make things right. John DeMarco says, I think we can all agree this is the best Trek movie ever directed by William Shatner. I agree. I totally agree. And John Araki just put in another $1. You didn't have to do that, John Araki. But there you go. There was some spaceships. Klingon birds of prey. And the Defiant. Very cool. Vile Mike says, howdy folks. Well, welcome, Vile. John Araki said, don't worry, John. That was my fault. I made it right. Vile Mike says, I'll give you a little bit of Dax. I know it's what you want. Bird of prey. Possibly mispronouncing. No. And John Araki says, thanks, Bird. You are welcome, John Araki. I can't let something like that go unanswered. So, yes, my family was here today. My cousins and a cousin-in-law. I don't know, a cousin's husband. However that works out. So that was pretty cool. Got to see them for a few hours. They came early this morning. So they left a little while ago, like maybe an hour ago. So, yes, there was still plenty of time to go live today. Otherwise, we would have done this tomorrow. I imagine I will take tomorrow off, although I might do a very early stream if I'm up early enough. But I think I'll take tomorrow off because I am working on another Star Trek video that I doubt it will be ready for Monday, but hopefully I'll be ready to release it maybe Tuesday morning. And if I take tomorrow off, I can work on it. So that could be pretty cool. Anyway, I mean, I guess if there's nothing much going on, we could just go ahead and start the movie. I don't mind. It is. Now, here's my theory on Star Trek V. I like I say, I know a lot of people dislike this movie. They think it's the worst movie. I don't. I actually think it's a fairly underrated movie. I like what they were doing for the most part. I think they took some chances. Maybe not all the chances paid off. But I'm going to say that just about everything that happens in this movie, it seems like Star Trek goes out of their way to decanonize. Like nothing that happens in this movie ends up in canon in any shape, form, any form whatsoever. And I'll point it out as the movie goes along. In fact, it's just, well, I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Actor says, I'm here, you can start the movie. Yes, and hi, Pajarakos. Okay, welcome, Actor. Well, in that case, we'll start. So, guys, I hope you have your Star Trek V queued up, and we're going to hit play. And again, I'm paused at approximately 22 seconds into the movie. So, I'm going to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And the Paramount screen on the live movie just turned to white and footprints in the desert. Now, why is this one not moving? Okay, hold up. Pausing the movie. I seem to have a problem. The one on the screen doesn't seem to be playing. I'm paused at 39 seconds into the movie. Okay, I didn't hit play correctly, I guess. So, let's bring up the screen to the same point Nimbus 3, the neutral zone. Okay. So now they're both paused at 39 seconds into the movie. No, I'm sorry, it's Rogan Tech. So again, it's paused at 39 seconds. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So imagine watching this in the theater for the first time. You see this poor bastard drilling, presumably for water on a desert planet. Mysterious figure on a horse come riding towards him. He's like, just put me out of my misery, please, sir. Please. I'll run and get my makeshift potato gun that lobs rocks at people on horses. Not enough to kill you, just enough to piss you off. I carry little rocks around with me because there's not enough rocks in the ground. It's like, just stay away. This is my hole. You can't have it. Thought weapons were forbidden on this planet. I can't believe you'd kill me over a field of empty holes. Says he has. The stare down. He's taking his soul. Give me your soul. Your pain, it runs deep. Let's explore your pain together. This sounds much more creepier than it did as a kid. Share your pain. I mean, shouldn't he have at least, like, mind melded with him or something? It seems a little easy to just walk up to some guy in the desert and say, share your pain with me, and all of a sudden, he's totally infatuated by the guy. He sounds like the Kif. He sounds like the green guy from Futurama. Zaf Brannigan's second in command. That's what this guy, I'm going to name him Kif. He looks like Kif too, just less green. There are no starships in Nimbus 3. Says, perhaps I have a way of bringing one here. Why would you, being a Vulcan, give you any power to bring a starship? You're a funny Vulcan. Oh my god. Like, I never got why this guy's laughing. Not Cybok. Kif. Why is Kif so enamored? Here we go. Paramount Pictures. Now we can get to the real start. White on white. What a way to make a font. What a great choice of font. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. You know, everybody went here figuring the final frontier. This was going to be the last of the movies, that there was going to be 5 movies. Mr. Captain! Mr. Captain! Welcome, Mr. Captain! Says, Bird of Prey, why call him Piff? Call him Anti-Trekker. I was calling him Kiff with a K after the guy in Futurama. I don't know. I mean, he has no hair, this guy. I can't call him Anti-Trekker. Yes, Kiff. Richie Poole says the opening teaser is the only part of the movie I liked. I'm calling him Kiff because he looks like Kiff. I don't know. Ah, yes. Beautiful Yosemite. It's all down here, Phil, from here, says Richie Poole. Yosemite National Park on planet Earth. Just a question. How can you have a national park if there's no nation? I never thought about that until just this second. If there's no United States, how is it a national park? Maybe it's an Earth park? A planetary park? Yosemite Planetary Park? Yosemite Preservation Park? But why would it be called Yosemite National Park when there is no United States? It's yes, nation of Earth. No. I don't think it works that way. The nation of Earth, vile. So Shatner is like, so I want the opening of this movie to be about me. I'll be rock climbing, and you can get all these different views of me climbing El Capitan. So if you actually go to Yosemite and you look up at El Capitan, you actually see people climbing it. And man, to say they look like ants is an exaggeration. They look like ant heads. They are so freaking tiny. From standing in the valley below, I wouldn't even have realized they were there until somebody pointed them out. And I had to look with binoculars. I was like, holy shit, that's a person hanging from the rock. And people, they camp. They can't climb it all in one day. So they freaking, I can't imagine doing this, but they camp. They actually just lay in a freaking, I don't know, it's like a sleeping bag hanging from the rope so they can continue the climb the next day. These people are nuts, but they're out there. But it was really something. I had no idea the perspective until I was there in person. It's really pretty cool. Thomas says, Bird of Prey, ever go to Frank and Freddie National Park in Queens? You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, Thomas. So now we got Bones. You'll enjoy shore leave. You'll be able to relax. He's talking to himself. If I'm not careful, I'll end up talking to myself. He's just taking in the view, Kirk. And there's Spock. Greetings, Captain. $1,200 points of interest in Yosemite, and Spock picks Kirk. So we see the rocket boots. We see the rocket boots for the first time. Kirk says he's climbing a mountain because it's there. Spock says, I don't think you realize the gravity of your situation, and Kirk slips, He says gravity is foremost on his mind. McCoy seeing all this, he's getting pissed. Spock is saying he's got to be one with the rock. And then Kirk falls, and Spock immediately points the rocket down. The rocket boot straight down has to be accelerating faster than Earth's gravity. And then he catches Kirk by the leg, and even though the rocket boots don't appear to have rockets that point up at Spock's face, he slowed down, and he was able to hold Kirk just by his leg. Bones came running over, though he'd be much further away from the view. He would never have gotten there in time to see that. And we're back to Paradise City on Nimbus III. Mr. Captain, this is Bird of Prey. Can you sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat with Captain Kirk? You know what, Mr. Captain? For you, I will sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat when they get to that part of the movie. Just for you. We get our famous three-boobed cat. We get this mysterious woman. Caitlin Yar. Oh, Dar. A new Romulan representative. Klingon console cord. He just burps. She picked the wrong week to start a new job on Nimbus 3. So 20 years ago, Nimbus 3 was formed. The settlers they conned into coming. Dreads of the galaxy. She is so full of life. She must be young. Naive. Naive and idealistic. And the alarms go off, and of course, I mean, how do they have weapons to defend the city if they're forbidden to have weapons? Does Cybok have the only horse on the entire planet? The Klingon just goes to the bar. The Romulan and the Federation go to the transmitter. Cybok goes, Romulan, Terran, Klingon, consider yourself my prisoners. The human says, prisoners? We're already prisoners on this worthless lump of rock. Cybox says, Nimbus 3 might be a worthless lump of rock, but it's the only place in the entire galaxy with the three of you. Greetings, Shronmore. And Shronmore says, and greetings to Sassy, chaser of cats, eater of cookies, stalker of cardinals, defiler of cushions, and scourge of the squirrels. Okay, so now we got Scotty. Scotty saying he thinks the new ship was put together by monkeys. So, at the end of Star Trek IV, we saw the Enterprise working pretty good. So, in this... Uhura said that she thought Scotty and him were supposed to be going together on leave. And clearly Uhura and Scotty have a little bit of a relationship going on for the first time. She brought dinner. Looks like field rations. The red alert alarm goes off, and Scotty's like, I just fixed it. It tells somebody to turn it off. Anyway, this is a red alert the Enterprise actually has to acknowledge for the first time. Priority 7. Scotty says, they can't be serious. Stand by to copy operational orders and recall key personnel. So, Sulu and Chekhov are lost in the woods. Chekhov says, don't tell him that they're lost. He'll never live it down. He is the helmsman. Sulu says they've been caught in a blizzard. And Chekhov does the blowing wind. They can't see a thing. And Uhura says, her instrument says sunny skies and 70 degrees. Chekhov says, oh, look, Sulu, it cleared up. It's a miracle. She said she'll send a shuttlecraft for him. Okay, so now it's the campfire time. Dr. McCoy was ringing the bell. Beans. Old Southern recipe. He'll be insulting generations of McCoys if Spock doesn't like these beans. Spock seems to like it. Surprisingly good. Does have a flavoring Spock's not familiar with, and McCoy says secret ingredient, and Kirk says he would like some more of that secret ingredient. It turns out to be Tennessee whiskey. McCoy said Spock could eat a bowl of termites. It wouldn't faze him. Greetings, Wesley, Qapla, and Cinnabon, Qapla, and Nicole, Qapla. McCoy is saying human life is too precious to risk. He should have been killed when he fell off that mountain. And Kirk said, even as he fell, he knew he wouldn't die. He said he knew he wouldn't die because the two of them were with him. I've always known I'll die alone. And if only that would have come true. But if McCoy was with Kirk of him falling off the mountain, then Picard was with Kirk in generations. Wait. Is somebody saying Midway is no good? Damn it, Resolute. Ah, and Spock's toasting a marshmallow. I could interpret it as without Spock and Bones, but I don't. I interpret it as die alone, as in alone. What do you do after we toast them? You consume them. And after. The sing-along. Qapla, Carlo, and T-Berg, sci-fi fan. The Camptown races. Boone over Rigel 7. Row your boat. Life is but a dream. Okay, here you coming. Row your boat gently down the stream. Or merrily, life is but a dream. And Spock was trying to comprehend the meaning of the words. McCoy says, it's a song, you green-blooded Vulcan. The words aren't important. I liked him better before he died. That's just hysterical. How do you not like this movie? It was hysterical. That entire exchange was hysterical. I liked him better before he died. Indeed. I mean, this is great stuff. Spock says, life is not a dream. Go to sleep, Spock. Good night, Bones. Good night, Jim. Good night, Spock. Good night, Captain. Good night, Spock. Good night, Jim. Oh, now we see one of the Voyager probes. And we see a Vulcan. A Klingon bird of prey decloaking. The third movie in a row now with a Klingon bird of prey. The whole gosh. Now this one's got the periscope. No view screen. And it also connects to the chair, which is really cool. It takes him 2 volleys of shots to destroy it. And he says he needs something that shoots back. And They're saying, oh, they're getting an emergency transmission from Nimbus III. And he's like, the Federation's going to send a ship. Then we're going to head there. They're sending the Enterprises. That's Kirk shit. So, a shuttlecraft comes with a bright light aimed right at Captain McCoy and Spock. And Uhura gets off. The transporter is not operational. And Kirk says, why didn't you beep my communicator? Uhura says you forgot to take it with you. Shore leave's been canceled. Pack out your trash. Does Kirk ask why? What's going on? What's the deal? So the Enterprise is out of space dock. It's just sitting in space, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. Nice view of it. So Spock said he is well versed in the classics. McCoy asks, well, then how come he doesn't know row, row, row your boat? So for the first time, we see that the Enterprise takes control over the shuttle as it lands, which will come back later, obviously. Because I don't think we've ever seen that before, or again. And the shuttle is still the Galileo. Scotty's. McCoy says he's never seen Scotty happier. The computer's not even working right to get to the bridge. Kirk says he could use a shower. Spock looks at him and says yes. The door doesn't even fully open when they get to the bridge. I'm trying to put them a view screen, short something out. So the Admiral says, so you're dressing informally, huh? He caught me on the way to the shower. Terrorist force has captured the only settlement on Nimbus III, taken hostages. He knows Enterprise isn't up to specs. He says, with all due respect, the Enterprise is a disaster. There are other ships, but he's the only experienced commander. So he asked if the Klingons have responded. He said no, but you can bet they will. McCoy says, if you ask me and you haven't, this is a terrible idea. They're bound to bump into the Klingons, and they don't really like him. You'll need all the power you can muster, mister. Shromore says, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Hats off, trousers down, isn't life a scream? I don't think those are the words. And Kirk misses his old chair, and Spock gives that little head nod. And she's saying, Klingon woman is telling the guy that if he destroys Kirk, he'll be the greatest Klingon warrior ever. T-Berg says, Bird of Prey had a grinder accident. You're dead, but left you a note. Sorry, I missed the movie. I guess in Space Engineers. No problem, T-Berg. Thanks for the heads up. So Kirk can't even do a captain's log. He won't even do the log. Forget it. They're receiving the hostage information. Starfleet Galactic Memory Bank. It's something. General Cord. Fallen out of favor with the High Command. General Cord's military strategies are required reading when he was in the academy. The Galactic Army of Light. It's a little suspicious. And there's Cybok. So Spock kind of secretly takes a screen grab. Kirk looks over. Kirk tells Spock, looks like he just saw a ghost. And Spock says perhaps he has. Of course, Spock doesn't ask for any type of follow-up. I don't know what room this would be. It's the steering wheel room. So Kirk asks him if he knows this guy. Spock says it reminds him of someone he knew in his youth. Like, now is the time you could say your brother. A young student, extremely gifted, possessed great intelligence. It was assumed one day he'd take his place amongst the great scholars of Vulcan. But he fell in love with a stepsister. His love was forbidden. Oh, he embraced the animal passions of his ancestors. Yeah, like a private 10 forward. Derek says it's meant to be the observation deck. I could go with that. So he was banished from Vulcan, never to return. At no point in here, Spock, did you think it was a good idea to say that he was your stepbrother? They're receiving whale song. Oh, wrong movie. They're receiving from Paradise City. Kirk says respond with static. Let them think we're not receiving it well. Of course, the transporter's inoperative because it'd be way too convenient if they could just beam them up. Spock says 1.9 hours till a Klingon bird of prey is in weapons range. Of course, he says now entering quadrant, which is ridiculous now that we know what quadrants are, an entire quarter of the galaxy. But they did use quadrant with sector over. They kind of use the two interchangeably in early Trek. So they're going to land pretty far away from Paradise City, because any closer could risk detection. So now Chekhov is pretending to be captain. Says, you are in violation of Neutral Zone Treaty. You give yourself up at once or suffer the consequences. They demand you turn over the nuclear vessels. Even as we speak, a Klingon warship is headed this way. They are likely to destroy the planet. He instructs him and his first officer to beam down. We be happy to beam down, but first we must have certain assurances. Spock says at foot speed 1.2 hours to Paradise City, but then they see a bunch of horses, and Kirk says perfect. Remember, Kirk is a big fan of horses, so it's like great. But they have to get the attention of these people, so they have Uhura do her fan dance on the top of a hill. They're like, what's that? It's a woman. It's a woman. Is she naked? That's what they asked. Is she naked? This is like getting all the nerds to come outside because there's a woman dancing on the top of a mountain. And like what? The first one to her gets her? I mean, what's the theory you're going on here, people? And I assume she's really supposed to be singing. Shromwas is kirked to Mr. Scott. We need to beam up the hostages. Scotty, we can't, Captain. Kirk, why the hell not? Scotty, it was in the script, Captain. Now Horace says she always wanted to play to a captive audience as Kirk and Spock aim weapons at them. Kirk tells Spock to be one with the horse. Thomas's bird of prey Cybok is anti-tracker. That's why anti-tracker is crazy. You know what? It could be. And Yosef, bird of prey, my player crashed. Timestamp, please. Yosef, we'll be at 40 minutes and 40 seconds and 10 seconds. So we're at 40, 35, 40, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 40. So they pretended to be a rating party. Nobody notices that it's really them yet. And they just aim a light at them, and now they realize that it's not the people they thought it was. Spock got a reading on where the hostages are. This guy made a homemade bazooka, apparently. I instruct you to surrender at once. You are under attack from superior Federation forces. And Cyborg says, do you realize what you've done? It wasn't bloodshed I wanted. Well, if you're gonna take hostages, you should expect the bloodshed. That's the cat lady's gonna get thrown in the water in a little bit. They got some cool blue phasers. Spock gives the horse a neck pinch. And now they've got a homemade Gatling gun. So Uhura is bringing in the shuttle now. Neon lights. This is it. This is where the cat lady jumps out at Kirk. Meow. Meow. Kirk is... Kirk throws her across the room into a fish tank or something. And it's like she's dead. She's dead. The water killed her or something. She doesn't even try to get out. Kirk doesn't try to save her from drowning. So they get to the hostages and Kirk says, thank God. And the hostages raise their weapons at Kirk. And they say, will you mind handing over your weapons? And then Cyborg says, well done, my friends. And they realize this was all a ruse. Richie Pools is Bird of Prey. What exactly is it about this movie that you like? Everything, Richie Pool. It's got everything. It's got comedy. It's got dancing Uhura. It's got Cybok. It's got horses. It's got Klingon Bird of Preys. It's got the Voyager spacecraft. It's got Spock's reuniting with his stepbrother. It's me, Spock. It's Cybok. Spock. Oh, Spock. Spock steps back. It's me. It's Cybok. After all these years, you finally caught up with me. Don't you have anything to say to me? And you are under arrest. 17 violations of the Neutral Zone Treaty. And Cybok laughs hysterically. That was pretty funny. Spock, you developed a sense of humor after all. This is not my intention to amuse you. These are serious charges. Yosef says, it's me, Cybok. Michael is here with me wearing a cat suit. Cybok says, I'm not finished violating neutral zone treaty. He intends to steal something very big for his next. He must have his starship. So Kirk says, you staged all this to get your hands on my ship? And Cybok's like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm James D. Kirk, captain of the Enterprise. And Cybok's like, but I thought Chekhov was captain. He's like, very good. I see. Shomore says, so Bird of Prey, Cybok is basically a Romulan hippie, seeing as Romulans are just Vulcans who display their emotions. I agree. He basically should have just gone to Romulus. So Cybok gave Spock a chance to help. Spock refuses. So Cybok says they'll just take it without his help. And the shuttlecraft is there. Now, how did Uhura become a prisoner? Uhura could have just, flew away. So the shuttle's on the route back to the Enterprise, and the Bird of Prey is closing in. Well, he can't be the first Vulcan extremist, Robert Hammer. We know there have been Vulcan logic extremists for decades, thanks to Discovery. So what, the Klingons are going to what, Blue Alert? Oh, they're cloaking. I lost the Bird of Prey, she must have cloaked. Chekhov says raise shields. And Scotty's like, but the shuttle. And Chekhov says, do it, go to Red Alert. Now, how did these guys just get on the shuttle? And why would Sulu have driven them this far? So Chekhov says they're raising shields, Bird of Prey approaching. Recommends that the shuttle find safe harbor. So Kirk explains it. That's this. 15.5 seconds to lower the shields, engage the tractor beam, and bring them in. And the Klingon finally speaks and says he speaks the truth. My people are cloaked. They intend to attack. Cybok says we can't turn back. And Kirk says, let me do something. Enterprise. This is Kirk. And now the Klingon says, Kirk, he's on the shuttle. He can hear him. He says, we understand the situation, are unable to return to planet. Stand by to execute emergency landing plan B. Nobody knows what the hell emergency landing bad plan B is. It says B, as in barricade. And now Scotty realizes he can't be serious. So Kirk says in order to reduce the time, he's gonna fly it. They're gonna fly it in manually, and McCoy's like, manually. And Cybok asks Sulu how many times has he done this, and Sulu looks at him and says, "This has been my first time." So the Klingons are locking on to the shuttlecraft, and he tells them to lower the shields. And the Bird of Prey decloaks. Sulu hits the engines and manually crashes the ship into the hangar deck of the Enterprise. And they go all the way forward till they hit the barricade, knocking out everybody on the shuttle. Anyway, the Klingons miss the shuttle, so now they have to aim at the Enterprise, but Chekhov gives the command for warp speed just in the nick of time, and the torpedo misses the Enterprise. And he says, he's good. He's good. Now, there's no security people in the shuttle bay. I guess they didn't, tell the Enterprise that they were coming aboard with people who want to take over the ship. Stromore says Sulu completes a typical bird of prey landing. That's not untrue. Arguably better. Oh, Kirk almost made it to the gun. Sybok says we have to change course. He doesn't even know what course they're on. Kirk says he'll take him to the bridge. Everybody else on the shuttle is still knocked out except Kirk and Sybok. And what's going on here? Oh, Kirk jumps Sybok. They're fighting. And the gun goes over to Spock. Damn it, Spock. Why don't you just walk over and give Sybok a nerve pinch? And Spock tells Sybok he must surrender. Sybok walks up to Spock, to the gun. He says, no, you must kill me. And Kirk yells, shoot him! And Sybok takes the gun from Spock. But for a moment, I thought you might actually do it. So McCoy comes out with Kif, and Sybok tells him to put McCoy in the brig with Captain Kirk. So now Sybok thinks that Spock has switched sides, and Spock says no. He will not go with him to the bridge. He says, you know I'm right. So Sybok says, then you must join them in the brig. Are you going to submit yourself for discipline, Spock, for disobeying a direct order? Schromore's bird of prey. I'm assuming Spock has never heard of his stun setting. Well, those weren't a Federation phaser, Schronemore. Those were the guns made on Nimbus III. I'm sure they don't have a stun setting. They're old school, really they're like muskets. They shoot rocks rather than actual bullets. So Scotty sees all this going on, and he realizes that he's gonna just hide in the Jeffries tubes. Of course, Scotty's a little old to be running around Jeffries tubes. So for just this movie, we've got full-size corridors behind the scenes of the Enterprise. And now Spock finally says that Sybok is also the son of Sarek. He says, I know, you have a fact, you don't have any brother. And Spock says, technically you're correct, I don't have a brother. I have a half-brother. Maybe you would pay to say I got an adopted sister too, just to be clear. So Cybok's mother was a Vulcan princess. He said, why didn't you tell this before? You didn't want to discuss matters of personal nature. I'm sorry. So McCoy's actually defending Spock. He said Spock could no more kill his own brother than he could kill you. But Spock did kill Kirk, or at least he thought he killed Kirk. Was it Arena? In the TOS episode, he thought he killed Kirk. So Chekhov was getting worried. And so now Sulu is putting in a new course. And Uhura comes on and says, it's okay, Chekhov. Pavel, it's okay, Pavel. Everything will be okay. Sulu tells Chekhov to listen to Cybok. And Cybok says, share your pain and gain strength from the sharing. And I bet Chekhov's secret pain was in Star Trek 2 when that thing was put in his ear. It made me do things. Hurt people. Now, the second time we see Spock lifting somebody up. Actually, no, it's happened quite a few times. So Spock is saying unwise. And Kirk falls down. This is a new brig. It's escape-proof. Spock says the designers tested it using the most resourceful and intelligent person they know. He failed to escape. So Kirk says this person didn't have pointed ears and nearing capacity for getting his shipmates into trouble. And Spock admits he did have pointed ears. So now Chekhov is on board. They're following the new course at Warp 7. So it should take them about 25 to 30 years to reach the center of the galaxy. So Cybok is now announcing this to the entire ship, as if the entire ship has been brainwashed. They felt with their hearts. They made love with their hearts. They believed with their hearts. They believed in a place in which these questions of existence would be answered. Modern dogma calls this place is a myth, a fantasy, concocted by pagans. It is no fantasy. Instead, they have been chosen to undertake the greatest adventure of all time. Are they going to Star Wars? Oh, no. They're going to Shakari. And Kirk says, Spock says it's possible he found Shakari. The planet Shakari, which lies beyond the Great Barrier, the center of the galaxy. I'm still listening, but I'm muting the microphone for a minute. Welcome, Captain Redneck, with a $20 super chat, who says this movie is almost as bad as Shatner's acting. Almost. You're stunning and brave, bird of prey. Thank you so much, Captain. Unfortunately, I was listening, but one of my favorite parts of the movie was Scotty breaking them out of the brig with Stand Back and SOS. And then Scotty says he knows the ship like the back of his hand and promptly knocks himself out. Now this is what the inside of the turbo lift is supposed to look like. Not what we see in STD. So Spock sees this and decides, I think I can make it to my quarters and get my boots without being attacked. Nobody notices Spock isn't with them. Sulu tells two people who have no idea how the ship works or where sickbay is to get Mr. Scott to sickbay. Shromore bird of prey. That is why Janeway thought Harry Kim was a useless tool. If it only took a few days to reach the center of the galaxy, why would he set a course that took 75 years? Yeah. He must have taken the scenic route. So they're 13 decks up before he noticed Spock's not with him. And then Spock comes down from above. If they had these boots during the TOS movies, why didn't every soldier in the Deep Space Nine in the Dominion War have these gravity boots, or whatever they are? Not gravity, rocket boots. Why didn't they have these rocket boots? Imagine carrying a phaser and being able to just fly over Dominion troops and shoot at them from high above. Deck 64, 52, 64, 78. Deck 78. Okay. That's a bit ridiculous. And Spock overshot the mark. So they're at the top of the ship in the observation deck. We'll call it the observation deck. Emergency channel open. Yosef's bridge is always deck 1. Yes. They not only have the decks misnumbered and the wrong number of decks, they have them backwards. They have them upside down. So Kirk calls Starfleet, and we got a Klingon chick with a perfect human accent. That Kirk thinks he spoke to Starfleet. Kirk, Gladaku. The people of your planet once believed your planet was flat. Some people still do. He said the sound barrier could never be broken. It was broken. Warp speed could never be achieved. Great Barrier's ultimate expression. I thought that was Warp 10. It's an extension of personal fear. He wants Captain Kirk's understanding. He wants his respect. Are you afraid to hear him out? I'm afraid of nothing. Except Klingon brain slugs. So he tells Kif and company to wait outside. Cybok is going to try to take Spock's pain. Kirk's pain. Aw, poor Scotty. Uhura's there for him. Since you're back with us. He said I had the strangest dream. I dreamt a madman has taken over the Enterprise. And Uhura says, he's not a madman. Cybok simply put us in touch with feelings we've always been bad to express. She pushes him down. She's like, there's so much. He touches her hand. He doesn't think he can take it in his present condition. Yosef says, and actually the 1701A was not numbers but letters A to U, so 21 decks. Well, I beg to differ, because we just see it on screen. It's 1 to 78 backwards. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean, Yosef. I'm not being mean to Darren, Captain Redneck. Darren's latest Deep Space Nine video was one of the best videos I've seen on YouTube in months. I disagree with Darren on the shape of the planet, but man, does that man make a good YouTube video. He has my utmost respect. Oh, you were being mean to Darren? Well, I don't care, Nicole. I mean, you can be mean to whoever you want, but I do. Darren does have my respect. I wouldn't personally be mean to him. I do just have fun with him, believing the world is flat. Nicole says Flat Earth makes more sense than this movie. And Captain Redneck says, that's on-screen evidence! Anti-trigger, yes. Yes. Actor says Cybop made a dress of his bed sheets. Oh my god. Cybop. We sing McCoy's pain. McCoy helps his elderly father die. Release me, son. I can't do that. But how can I watch him suffer like this? This is your doctor. McCoy says I'm his son. And McCoy covers his face with a pillow. Oh, I mean, he turns off the life support, sticking a controller in the bed. That is not a pretty sight for a young person to see. You do not want to get that old. Shrome was his bird of prey. If we live in a holographic universe, as some scientists believe, the Earth is flat, but it's a globe for those who choose to. Those of us in the hologram. I don't believe we do, but it's possible. So Sybok is asking McCoy, why did he do it? To preserve his dignity, says McCoy. But that wasn't the worst of it, says Sybok. McCoy says, no. They found a cure. They found a goddamn cure. So good. Release your pain, McCoy. Release it. This pain has poisoned your soul. Now he looks at Spock. Each man's pain is unique. Spock says, I hide no pain. Sybok knows him better than that. So we're going back to what is supposedly Spock's birth. Not in a hospital. Not in a Vulcan hospital, but looks like it's in a dark cave. Poor Amanda. Doesn't look like she has any drugs. She's having a natural birth with a Vulcan midwife. And we've got baby Spock. And she presents Sarek, his son. Sarek, your son. Sarek looks at it. Little baby. Says, so human. And so we believe Spock remembers that. Spock remembers the very first instant of his life. As soon as he left the womb, he remembers his father saying that he looked so human. Those were the first words he ever heard. And I think McCoy is trying to see if he can see anything under those sheets. So, Kirk is asking Sybok, what did he do to his friends? Sybok says, now let's learn something about yourself. McCoy says, be open. Kirk says, I refuse. What, I made the wrong choices? I turned left when I should have turned right? I know my weaknesses are. We don't need you to take me on a tour of them. Be brainwashed by this con man. It's like, this con man took away my pain. The things that make us who we are. If we lose them, we lose ourselves. I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain. So they're in approach of the Great Barrier in 20 minutes? And he tells that Dr. McCoy and Spock could come with him, but Kirk needs to remain there. And Spock says, I can't go. You're my brother, but you don't know me. He can't go with him. And so McCoy takes a second look and says, I guess you better count me out too. So now Sybok finally admits his vision was given to him by God. He waits for them on the other side. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. And Kirk says, you are mad. Let's see. They say no ship can survive this. Cybok says it's an illusion. No readings. Full ahead, according to Cybok. That is some scary looking crap. Yeah, where's the black hole? So at the exact center of the galaxy is a tiny little planet. Like, smaller than the moon. Smaller than the Earth in Space Engineers. Maybe life is a dream, says Kirk, as he touches the plate to boldly go where no man has gone before. And of course, it doesn't mean man as in the XY chromosome. It means man as in all civilization, all of humankind. Just to be clear. It's Shakari. And they're all calling it their own names. Eden. No, they were at Eden already. In Discovery. It's in the Beta Quadrant. So Cybok says, no conditions, it's yours. Ship needs its captain. What makes you think I won't turn it around? He says, because you must know. You've got to be curious. And he is. Cybok, Spock, and Dr. McCoy are going to go on a little away mission with Captain Kirk. Says, don't stand around. God is a busy man. Shromos' bird of prey, I think we've been misgendering climate change. In an effort to bring gender balance, from now on, I will call it woman-made climate change. Well, it's probably more true. I mean, with running hair dryers and all those aerosol sprays they put in their hairs, probably is more women. Especially if you consider all the cooking they do. I'm sorry, Mama Gray. So which shuttle is this? This is Shuttle 3. This can't be the Galileo, right? Because that one was pretty smashed up when they landed. So Kirk is going to take a phaser, and Cybok puts his hand on his shoulder, shakes his hand. You don't need a phaser for this. And Kirk agrees. Ah, it's the Copernicus. Okay, so it's not the Galileo. Very cool. They're looking. Amazing. Just as he knew it would be, says Cybok. Now everybody on the Enterprise is looking. You got a big mountain in front of them. Cybop has low standards. Purple planet, says Joseph. Nicole Malo says hugs to the Mamo Prey. Thank you. She's waving. Thank you, Nicole. T-Berg says Prince lives here. Yeah, it kind of is a purple sky. Uhura tells Scotty he has to see this, but Scotty's working on the transporter. He doesn't have time. Captain told him to get the transporter working. He's not going to let him down. Because, of course, the transporter is going to be needed for the very end of the movie. You think these people from the planet would have taken a change of clothes. There's got to be better clothes on the Enterprise. Those have to be pretty shitty, and they've got to stink to high heaven. And nobody notices that a Klingon bird of prey is coming in behind them. Because they're all looking at the view screen. There's no audible alarm. It's amazing how this planet looks in no way like Southern California desert. Cybok yells out, "We have traveled far!" My starship? Not your starship. Kirk calls up to the Enterprise. Enterprise, this is Kirk. Spock is coming over to telling Cybok, perhaps you were wrong. And that's when it starts shaking. He's coming over to console Cybok. And the sun goes away, which there was no sun. It was a lone planet in the center of the galaxy. Don't really know where the light was coming from. And, yeah, these rib-shaped stones just appear out of the ground. I would say that's not good. This should have been the first real, the first clue something was wrong. Kind of looks like something out of hell. T-Berg says Michael Bay sold this for the last Transformers. Bonehead, says Joseph. It went from day to night. Immediate day to night. That's something. Actor says it's the remains of anti-tracker's turkey. Could be. Well, that's strange. Blue lights on the ground coming from nowhere. And that is certainly not dry ice. And a big energy beam shoots up into space. And a very pleasant voice says, "Welcome." McCoy asks, "Is this the voice of God?" One voice, many faces. And we see all different types of humanoid faces. But then he kind of takes the face of a something that we might call what God looked like. Bearded white man. Sybok walks up to the light. Says, "It is I." Said, the journey couldn't have been an easy one. You are the first to find me. Said, "So how did you breach the barrier?" Says, "With a starship. This starship, could it carry my wisdom beyond the barrier?" And Sybok says it could. Yes, and Kirk says, "Excuse me. Excuse me. I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?" And God says, "Bring the ship closer." And Kirk says, "What does God need with a starship?" And McCoy's like, "Jim, what the hell are you doing?" So the creature asks, "Who is this creature?" And Kirk is like, "You don't know who I am, aren't you, God?" McCoy says, "You don't ask God for his ID." So here he's like, "Here is your proof." And he zaps Kirk with lightning bolts from his eyeballs, because that's in the Bible. Kirk asks, "Why is God angry?" Now Spock says, "What does God need with a starship?" And now he shoots Spock. And McCoy goes over to check on Spock. And he asks McCoy if he doubts him. "I doubt any god that inflicts pain for his own pleasure." And Sybok says the god of Shakari would not do this. Says, "In eternity I've been imprisoned in this place. I must have the ship." Shrum was his bird of prey. I don't think this is the remains of Anti-Tracker's turkey. I'm pretty sure he just ate the 38-pound breast bones and all, like a boa constrictor eating a monkey. And now we see Sybok in the eye. It's not God. Oh my God. No. "Bring me the ship or I will destroy you." Bring it closer so I may join with it. In a very uncreepy voice. Do it or watch these puny things die. Cybox says, what have I done? This is my doing, my arrogance. Cybox says, save yourselves, forgive me, brother. Touch hands. Cybox is trying to go with the pain. Says, share your pain with me. It runs deep. He was trying to give him time to get away. And fire a photon torpedo directly on his position. That photon torpedo should be like a nuclear bomb. And they're gonna dodge it by jumping behind a rock. Yosef says this is such a miserable script. Sorry. And Richie Poole says, yes, only Baby Yoda could have saved this movie. Richie Poole says Cybox was an idiot, just like everyone else in this dog. Mike Ridges says there were good bad movies and there are bad movies. This is a shit show. I would watch this over any Discovery episode. Without a doubt. To be honest, I'd watch this over Star Trek 1. Most of the time. So they make it back to the shuttle pod. But thrusters are inoperative. Derek says, damn straight it's better than STD. And Track 95, this is far better than Discovery. Absolutely. And Nicole says, far better than the Jar Jar movies. Though Richie Poole says the motion picture is 100 million times better than this. And Track 95 says, this over TMP, no. Yoda says, nope, there are better Discovery episodes, even on YouTube, where Burnham dies for 1 hour. You got me there. You got me there, Yosef. So they all got up except Kirk. The Klingons are here. Captain Kloa, the Klingon Empire. If you raise shields or arm weapons, I will destroy you. You're alive for a single reason. A renegade James T. Kirk. Hand him over and I will spare your lives. My transporter stands ready. Says, Captain Kirk's not among us. Klingon says, you lie. Well, Spock says, I'm a Vulcan. I'm incapable of lying. And the Klingon says, then give me his coordinates. So now Spock tells the Klingon guy that he needs his assistance, that he is his superior officer, and the Klingon says, I'm an old man. And Spock is like, damn it, sir. You will try. And he says, Klingon commander, someone wishes to speak with you. So Kirk is climbing rocks, which we know he's good at because we saw him on Yosemite. He's fighting, you know, this energy guy, and now a Klingon bird of prey shows up right behind him, and the Klingon bird of prey destroys the evil god. Once again, a Klingon bird of prey is the hero ship of the movie. Last time, it saved the planet because of the whales, and this time, it saves Kirk. And Kirk gets beamed aboard, and the Klingons take him to the bridge, and we get the surprise reveal. Joseph, the Track 95 Bird of Prey did a supercut of that particular scene. It should be on this channel. It is. I apologize. Your attack was not authorized by my government. And now may I present our new gunner. And it's Spock. Spock killed God. Stromwood's bird of prey, the Klingon bird of prey, did not only kill God, it also fixed climate change. Kirk said, I thought I was going to die. And Spock says, impossible, you were never alone. Kirk goes to hug Spock, and Spock says, please, Captain. Not in front of the Klingons. Hilarious! This is grade A. This is grade A writing. I don't understand why people dislike this. And now we've got Klingons and Federation hanging out on the Enterprise, being all friendly. Would you care for a wee bit of Scottish whiskey? Yes. Scott, he says, I never thought I'd ever be drinking with a Klingon. And the Terran, the human, and the Romulan ambassador are saying just how much they've come, and Chekhov and Sulu are following the Klingon woman around, staring at her ass. The Klingon gives Kirk the old good Qapla sign, honor. McCoy is saying, is God really out there? And Kirk says, maybe he's not out there. Maybe he's right here in the human heart. And Spock is sad. He was thinking of Sybok. He lost a brother. Hey, but at least you have an adopted sister. Kirk says he lost a brother once. But he was lucky he got him back. Oh, he didn't mean his real brother. He meant Spock. And then McCoy says, although you said men like us don't have families, and Kirk says he was wrong. Back to another campfire. Spock plays row, row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yosef is at least Spock has an adoptive sister. Exactly. Jerome was his bird of prey. They got on so well that these Klingons, but were complete assholes. The Klingon Chancellor and his staff in undiscovered country. Yes. It's like everything they accomplished in this movie in terms of progress with the Klingons was completely ignored in Star Trek 6. And there, that starts the opening, the ending credits. So I'm going to mute it. I'm going to mute it so I can hear better. But yeah, so that's one of the things I'm saying. Like everything in this movie, they tried to decanonize. By Star Trek 6, they completely ignored the fact that the Klingons and them were getting along really well. They were friends. Okay, it looks like they already had a meal with Klingons. The Klingons coming over for dinner, that shouldn't have been anything new. They already did it in this episode. And in the way they were enthralled with the Klingons, right? They were the Scotty was happy to be drinking with a Klingon, and Sulu and Chekhov were chasing Klingon women. And then Star Trek 6 comes along, and they're like disgusted by how the Klingons eat. They're like, in that smell. Oh my God, that smell. It's total 180 on how they are acting about the Klingons. So it's like they don't want this movie to have existed for Star Trek 6. And then those rocket boots that would come in a million times, would come in handy a million times in Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and we never ever see them again. We should have seen them in the war. We should have seen them on Voyager. I mean, just think all the times they've had to crawl down a cave or something and try to scale up a wall. If they just had these boots they could replicate and fly around, they wouldn't have to deal with any of that stuff. They could have made many missions much easier. These boots should just be on record. They should be able to be replicated on demand. So the boots they forget about. Obviously the number of decks and the deck numbering scheme they forget about. Which I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind that they forgot about the number of decks and the deck numbering scheme. But they did. It was just another something they completely ignored. T-Berg says Christopher Plummer makes a great Klingon. He did. Star Trek 6 should be the one decanonized, says Resolute. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Track 95 is a bird of prey. Row, row, row your boat gently in the bed. Merrily, merrily, merrily. Frank and Freddie. No. No. This story is a drunken campfire dream. Yes, that is Doomcock's theory. That this is all Kirk's dream. That Kirk was asleep. And he had this dream overnight that they got woken up in the middle of the night, and everything that happened was his dream. And then at the end of the movie, where they're back at the campfire, was, I guess, the next day. So this was all a dream. And you know what? It is believable. It is believable. And it would make sense as to why none of this actually ever seems to be brought up again. Richie Pools says Star Trek V should be erased from history. I mean, it's like Kirk thought that Scotty and Uhura were having a little fling on the side, that the Enterprise was in bad shape, even though the Enterprise was in fine shape, that they were going to send him, like that there was even a planet of intergalactic peace, that Spock has an unknown half-brother. There's really nothing in here that would violate it being Kirk's dream. Joseph says, but with so many decks, how could they fit all the shuttles from the last episode of Disco? And Richie Pools says, Doomcock may have something here. I really think he does. I thought it was ridiculous the first time he said it. But, Jesus, it's maybe not. Maybe not. I gotta say, He might be onto something. Anyway, guys, so I think we're going to call it an evening here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope I thank you all again for the comments and hanging out. Right now, I think I'm going to take tomorrow off so I can work on my next video. I might do a really early stream, a short stream. It might be on Birdo Prey 5X channel. I don't know. But I'm not 100% sure. So please don't worry if I don't do the stream. Hopefully, Anti-Trekker will do his morning stream on Rational Roundtable tomorrow. So don't forget, if you're not subscribed to Rational Roundtable, if you want to be on his stream, you're going to need to subscribe to it to get the notification. And yeah, I think there we go. Oh, not Ryan Johnson with a $5 super chat says hello in Qapla, just popping in to say hello and wish everyone a great day. Well, thank you so much, not Ryan Johnson. We were just getting ready to head out, but if there's something you want to talk about, I mean, we can. Although, if you're just popping in and out, then you might not be here anymore. But very generous. Thank you, not Ryan Johnson. Track Night versus Bird of Prey, always a pleasure. And also what Freddie said to you sons of bitches. John DeMarco says, have a good day, everyone. Robert Hammer, row, row, row your boat and have a good day or night. And Track Night versus, no, not Ryan Johnson. Hello there. How are you? Derek says it's almost 11 p.m. for him. T-Berg says from Nimbus 3 to Dumbus 4. Wow. Okay, guys. Well, I guess that's probably it then. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all those good things. I will unlist this, but it will still be available if you go to my channel in the live and unlisted playlist, and also in the Star Trek playlist, as are all my live streams now pretty much unlisted within a few hours of me ending the stream. And it's been helping. The channel was growing slowly, but we're growing easily twice as fast as we have since I started making that change. So it is working. So good night, guys, and Qapla, and thank you all.